Right, so I've got the two limbs and the visor section sort of lined up with their just simple short V-splice, as it will be in compression, lined up relative to the bow. Not glued it yet, but you can see the riser section's quite a bit thicker than what will be the limb section. So do I sort of blend that on the belt sander first before I glue it, or glue it then blend it and clamp it all up into this U channel to help keep it in alignment? I faired in the visor section a bit to try and blend in, and got everything clamped and glued to try and keep it relatively straight. Well, this seems to have drifted offline a little bit. I'll perhaps pull that in and slacken my clamps and then retighten them. Hopefully it'll all be good. The glue's gone off enough for me to give it a light sanding on the belt sander. That's not a final sanding yet, but you can see the general effect. It's looking quite nice. The weird thing is though, it seems to have glued up, slightly bowed somehow. I'm making even a simple V-splice and getting it to fit nicely is somehow more difficult than you might imagine. But of course, because it's full width at the tips, I've still got room to, you know, lay it onto the bow and cut the bow shape out properly. I've just got to be a bit careful because I mean I haven't tapered the limbs of the main bow at all yet, except for just at the very tip, so I should be alright. And even having said that, it takes very little force to, you know, pull it back in line if I wanted to, but of course you don't want any weird residual stress in a bow. But I can mark it out, saw it out and think about getting it glued up. There, that's got it lightly clamped in position. You see we've got excess timber this side, and again this side, that's just where it had bowed slightly, but I've got enough wood everywhere else. So I'll mark that off and just trim off a little bit of the excess, which will help in the glue up. I've tidied up the joins a bit better, faired them in, all looking quite nice. And something else I've had to do for the next glue up is to saw away this little bit of the former to allow for the bulge of the visor, because I'll glue it up on the former again to try and maintain that bit of reflex. I might even get that done tonight. If I really rush, I could do it tonight and spoil it all again. But this is nice and thin and floppy, so that should clamp and conform quite nicely. But yeah, I'll take my time. Let's just put it all together. There, that sort of shows how much tension we'll get back into it with the glue up. So yeah, there will be some pulling down of the laminations, but you can see the overall thickness will be much nicer now. We'll have a bit of draw weight. It's certainly coming on. Slow and steady wins the day. Pans backwards. There must be a fancy name for that. It's not panning, it's going backwards. Send your answers on a postcard.